Well, we all want to be in great shape and have nice bodies, so we try fad diets and start to exercise, but often it doesn't last long before we give up. How can we find a way to get fit, stick to it, and stay fit? Joining us today to chat about this is Shane Garner, owner of Anytime Fitness, right here in Lethbridge. Welcome to Bridge City News, Shane.
Perfect. Thank you very much for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, of course. So first of all, can you tell us a bit about what kind of a gym Anytime Fitness is? Do you do personal training or do you do classes?
Absolutely. So we're a commercial gym. We're located at 338 University Drive West. So that'd be right across the street from Save On Foods on the west side. We're a commercial gym with 24-hour access. We offer memberships, personal training, group training, supplements, and nutrition programs. And really the thing that we try to differentiate ourselves from other commercial gyms is we're the club that coaches, cares, and connects. And what that means basically is when someone comes through the front door, there's resources available regardless of skill level. So if you just come through the front door and you're good to go and you just want to work out, obviously that's great. We can accommodate you. But if somebody comes in and maybe they've never stepped foot into a gym and they need all the resources that we can offer, that's perfect too, because we have a platform that can assist them. And really that's it, right? Is we try to be a club that can accommodate all skill levels, because sometimes coming to the gym is quite scary and it's intimidating, and we just try to remove that whole aspect of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what age groups are able to participate with you?
Anywhere from 14 to unlimited. And we really do see, being on the west side, we see all age groups, all demographics, all body sizes, all body shapes, all different levels of experiences. And that's really what we are. We're the neighborhood gym. So in saying that, we get the neighborhood.
That's awesome. Now, I'm guessing that it's been a financial challenge for gym owners with COVID restrictions in place. So as someone who sees this firsthand every day, would you say gyms are at least as safe as shopping at local grocery stores?
Well, obviously I'm a bit biased, but for the general public that maybe don't know what all goes on, I would say obviously yes. The reason I'd say yes is because of the level of cleanliness and safety that's been regulated by the government for us, but also because of the standard that members expect from us. So with so much media coverage on what's going on, the expectations are very high for us to conduct ourselves in a professional manner. We've always prided ourselves on operating a really clean, organized, tidy gym, but with the COVID restrictions coming onto the scene, obviously things have been heightened to another level. And members already wipe equipment, before they use it, after they use it, but really it was the education on our staff to accommodate the new regulations. So, our staff members are sanitizing high touch points every 45 minutes, like handles, railings, that kind of stuff. We bought a bunch of commercial fogging machines, and we've just openly invited AHS to also come and tour the facility and make sure that we're compliant, we're doing everything right, and we're protecting the members. For us, we had over 25,000 visits over a 6-month period, and we've had no COVID-related cases. So we're doing our very best, and the industry as a whole is doing quite well as well.
That's amazing. You guys are right on top of it. I absolutely love it. So speaking of physical fitness, so where are we at in Southern Alberta? How do we generally score on the physical fitness report card?
We're doing a lot better, especially in the last 5 years. Regardless of area or demographics, but the awareness of just health and wellness by people generally is something that's definitely becoming more and more conscious for people, and people are definitely taking active steps to making healthy life changes. And then those are obviously, from the extreme all the way to, a lot of people are just starting to move, right? They're just becoming conscious that they can no longer live this lifestyle and they need to improve it. And they're making small, subtle changes that are, definitely a step in the right direction.
Right. Now, there might be some people out there who say, hey, I don't exercise all that much. It's not a big deal. But if we're not getting regular exercise, how does this impact our physical and our mental health?
The way we try to explain this to people, because that's a common attitude, I mean, first and foremost, like the human body, I mean, just as a system, I mean, it's made to move, right? It's made to lift and walk and stretch and be under load. I mean, it's not really made to sit in a chair for 8 hours a day. It's not made to eat all the processed food, which is really common in the lifestyles we live today. And I mean, obviously there's physical and the mental side of that is it helps a lot to have active lifestyles. But I mean, the kind of our takeaway with a lot of people is, you know, you either make time for your wellness or you'll be forced to make time for illness. So that seems to resonate with people a lot. And it's so true is, you know, you've got to look after yourself or, you know, there were consequences down the line. So, I mean, nobody wants to do that. So that's why kind of going back to what we were talking about before, it seems like a lot more people are becoming conscious of that and making the lifestyle changes.
So important. So what stops people from maybe getting started? Is it personal fears that it might be too hard or that it'll take up too much of their time or they won't see results for their money?
You know, I think all of those what you mentioned are to some degree, but the most prominent one, it's the scared fear, intimidation. I'm sure you've heard it. We hear it all the time. Is people are like, "Oh, I just need to get in shape before I come to the gym." You know, it sounds silly, but it's true. A lot of people end up doing that, or thinking that's the mentality they need to show up in shape. The amount of people we've had too that, I mean, they sit in their cars and they contemplate for 20 minutes before stepping through the doors is another thing. And it's just the fear of maybe they're going to be embarrassed. I mean, maybe they're going to be ridiculed, maybe all these negative things. And I think that's one of the biggest things that stop people from coming through the doors. And it's not true. When people come through the front door, most commercial fitness is, you know, obviously Anytime Fitness, but I think most people would be surprised at how accommodating most commercial fitness facilities are. And when they do come through the front doors, even if they are scared, intimidated, maybe they've never set foot in a commercial fitness center, is they all are quite accommodating regardless of skill level. And they usually can accommodate you with a variety of products. So it's really just that getting yourself through the door is the hardest part.
I think you're right. I think that intimidation factor might be what it is because you picture a gym with all these beautiful buff people, right? And if you think, well, that's not me, yeah, I totally understand that. But I've been attending gyms for all my life, and for the most part, like nobody ever, I've never seen anyone really look down on anybody else. So,
And as you know, like, I mean, the majority of people that are working out, I mean, they're just normal people, right? You know, people get the mental image that there's just a bunch of tan, jacked, beautiful people, but
exactly. Yeah,
it's not the case.
it's
It's
not.
just everyday normal people like you and I, just trying to get in better shape.
Absolutely. Now, what do you recommend for someone who wants to just get started and who wants to keep it simple?
You know, it depends on the obviously the level of experience and level of current physical activity and all that. But I mean, just average Joe, just looking to get in better shape and maybe have never entertained an active lifestyle. It's really just moving. Just start moving. You know, a recommendation we always make for people that are just starting to get into it is everyone carries a cell phone around them. It already usually tracks your steps for you. And even just tracking your steps is a step in the right direction. For most people that are just getting into it, is we tell people to aim for about 3,500 steps a day. Maybe if you're a bit more advanced, then shooting for 5,000 steps a day. And then things like maybe they don't want to come to a gym quite yet, but using your body weight for exercises, things like jumping jacks or body weight squats or stretching. And again, just using your body for what it's meant for. And of course, making healthier food choices is another one that we would recommend.
Right, absolutely. And that's all stuff you can do in the privacy of your own home, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Now, how important is the cardiovascular part of an exercise plan, and what would be some good alternatives to running for those that might have some joint issues?
For the jogging, because that's another one, right? Where people think, well, I'm gonna get in shape, I'll start running. And running is quite advanced for the majority of people. It's usually not the recommendation we make. It usually can be quite hard on the body, especially if it's untrained. So we usually don't recommend jogging, and it's rarely a good fit for most people, especially people that have been inactive. But other alternatives, like I said, would be like walking is a really good start. Walking with an incline, if you do have access to a treadmill, is a really good start to start challenging yourself. If you do have pre-existing hip, knee, joint concerns or issues, is like ellipticals would be another one. It's very low impact. Steppers, swimming, biking. Those are all really good choices to kind of exchange for the jogging. And usually, typically, people work themselves up to running, but it can be very hard on you if you're just going from a completely inactive lifestyle to jogging, and then it kind of makes you feel beat up and tired, and maybe you're not going to have that for the long duration, right?
Now, any advice on how to go about developing muscle building routines without injuring yourself? And also, how important is it to build muscles?
Yeah, for as far as like developing a routine, obviously, everyone has access to the internet. Sometimes with the internet, there's almost an overabundance of information. It's hard to sort it all through what you should be doing. We offer the Anytime Fitness app. It has 4,000 workouts on it for a variety of skill levels. But that's something we can help you with. I mean, people can reach out to us, or like I said, log online. I mean, some of the things that people are going to notice, especially as they age, is increasing bone density. It can recharge the metabolism and increase the capacity, enhancing mental health. We talked about that a little bit. And then just reversing physical frailty. I mean, it goes back to us talking about the human body is just made to exert and be under load. So those are the things you're going to notice. And especially as people age, it's so important to keep some sort of healthy, active lifestyle.
Now, you mentioned aging. So I know muscles obviously develop more easily when you are young, but older people should try to build muscles too. So what would you recommend for like a senior citizen? How to get started on that?
Really, it's going back to what we originally talked about. So if someone is classified as a senior citizen, and maybe they don't have a prior experience, it's getting back into that movement, right? Is getting into some walking, tracking the steps, just starting with some very moderate body weight exercises, and of course, making healthy decisions. But the biggest aspect there is to not go too hard, too much, too fast. And if somebody is venturing out and they're trying to get into shape, I think another really key component is asking for advice, and just make sure that advice is backed up by someone with some experience, because there's lots of advice out there. Some of it's poor, some of it's phenomenal. Just make sure you've got the proper advice as well.
That's great. And then on the flip side, at what age can youngsters start using weights while being safe, of course?
Yeah, typically 14 is there's some, again, this is a really highly debated
Right.
subject, and there's quite a bit of science coming into play here. But typically what we recommend is if 14 and over you can begin to start weight training. We don't recommend any large loads being placed in the body younger than that. And then as people progress into the 15, 16, 17, then obviously the amount of intensity and loads increase as well.
Now, what's better, to do lower reps with heavier weights or more reps with less weight? What works better?
I would say it depends.
Okay.
It depends on the goal. So science says reps 1 to 5 are going to be the most beneficial for strength building.
Okay.
Science says reps for 6 to 12 are going to be the most beneficial for muscle building.
Okay.
And then reps 12 to 20 are going to be the most beneficial for training a muscle for performing under load for duration or endurance. So it really depends on the goal, but typically most people are going to fall in that 6 to 12 range because they're trying to get the muscle stronger, a little bit bigger, probably look a little bit better as one of the goals. And that's usually what we recommend.
Okay. Now, if somebody is overweight, how can they start doing exercises safely? What do you recommend for that?
A lot of, again, if overweight and inactive, again, a really good place to start maybe building the confidence and even just kind of learning your body of what it's capable of and what it's not capable of at the moment is, again, just going back to that movement, is start moving, start getting out there, tracking your steps, and just start building that foundation so that you start to explore your body and realize what it, and then as you do that, you're going to gain confidence and you're going to want to gradually move into a commercial facility. I'm not saying that's the only way, but that's really a typical way to do it. I mean, I don't want to paint the wrong image either. And of course, you can just show up to a commercial fitness facility and they'll be glad to have you and they'll accommodate you too. So the nice part about that is you're going to get the expert advice right out of the gate. But it just depends on the comfort level.
Right. And of course, we want to encourage viewers who might be struggling in this area. So do you have any clients at Anytime Fitness who maybe defied the odds and have lost a significant amount of weight? Any success stories?
So weight loss is one of our specialties there. We've actually had multiple examples of clients losing over 100 pounds, and the 100 pounds is obviously significant. But what's more significant is you literally see people transform their personalities, their confidence, their energy levels, everything, even all the way down to like the relationship with their spouse or their kids. I mean, it can be life changing. So yeah, I mean, we do have multiple examples of that. I mean, we do have examples of that with pictures in the club if anyone's interested and want to discuss that further. Yeah, it's really, I just can't get over how that's one of the most exciting aspects of being part of this.
That's amazing. It looks like we are out of time, but thanks so much for being with us today, Shane. Shane Garner is the owner of Anytime Fitness here in Lethbridge. We appreciate having you on.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Jeanette Roche on behalf of all of us here at Bridge City News. Thanks for watching.